Tiny Gear, aka Angela Penhaligon. And do you want to introduce yourselves? And then
Amy Ashworth.
And I'm Brammer.
And we met, it's a double-pronged meeting, but I heard Emma singing in the shower, quite literally. I was doing some recording with her flatmate, who is Ninky V, who plays a theremin very well. And I heard this voice, I'm like, oh my God, that voice. And it was you singing in the shower.
I was singing Britney Spears.
Something like that. Yeah. It was amazing. And then Amy I met, we both worked at EMI.
Yeah.
And you were just friendly and nice. And so we kept in touch and realized we did music and we ended up on the same scene.
Yeah.
And then somehow you did a festival with me, you and Matt, your husband.
Oh yeah, we did.
And that was it. We just sang together.
Yeah.
So we were christened Roxys by Niall Rogers, who we met
At Jules Holland when we were playing with Gaz. And we saw his dressing room and we put our kisses on his dressing room door.
Lots of kisses.
Because we wanted to meet him.
But we were too shy to talk to him.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite funny.
So we played Deep Pockets, which has a lot of sleigh bells. I'm doing that because that's how we play them.
Yeah.
And what did he say?
And then afterwards, we're walking down a packed corridor and we see him coming towards us. And
he
we're
had like a ray of light around him.
didn't he?
Yes, it's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
And he looked at us and he went, Roxy, Roxy, Roxy.
Who knew sleigh bells could be so sexy? And we were like, hee hee hee. We couldn't talk, could we?
No, we were just like, is that us?
Yeah, are we?
Us.
Oh, that's it.
So there we go.
Sexy? Okay. And that didn't fill me too. That felt fabulous.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he was supportive.
He was very, very supportive.
He was
Nothing weird
supportive.
about it.
You're right, and I think also we'd seen him in the canteen before, and he just queued up with everyone else, in
he
his
wasn't a diva.
amazing tracksuit and amazing jewels and stuff.
Yeah.
And he just queued up like everyone else. Like obviously a nice man.
Yeah.
So we didn't feel
Amazing man.
intimidated.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I love singing with you. I've been singing with you for like
and
12
it feels
years.
like it's come together in such an amazing way that our voices are different, but they, we all love a harmony, and we come from maybe different styles, but it works together really well. And I think it's also about the humans that you are as well, that we get on so well.
Yeah,
Singing
good fun.
is so enriching and so wonderful.
totally. It's like therapy singing with my girls.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is good fun.
Yeah, and it is great
Which
fun.
it needs to be good fun.
I mean, we sing as BVs with Gaz Coombs, also from Supergrass, and we have recently been singing with Noel Gallagher. So that's been interesting to perform with those legends, right?
Yeah, it's been quite different.
Yeah.
From toilet venues to...
We still play toilet venues. Yeah.
I won't anymore.
Uh-oh.
But that's been such an amazing thing to do. And I don't know, we're going to talk about women in music, but we're in such a space where we support each other to do all the breadth of what we do. So we do smaller venues and we do bigger venues, and we can do all those things because we're together.
Yeah, definitely. There's a
And
solidarity in the
that-
dressing room. We warm up together. We do each other's hair. It sounds cliche, but it is nice to have that network, isn't it?
I sort of feel like that sort of solidarity helps us go into a new situation, which was at one point with Gaz, before we'd sang together, and then we go, with a brand new artist to sing. But I think because we've done it for a while and we've nurtured our craft together, then it means that we can go into that and then go and do the stuff with Noel that's sort of new. And
we're playing bigger and bigger rooms to bigger and bigger audiences, and it's a different skill actually, how you're singing and how your stagecraft is read from far away and stuff you have to think about it, and that's not something we had to think about much before. So yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Gaz and myself share some band members, and Gaz did an amazing triumphant set on the Park stage at Glastonbury, and we did a gig at the Rabbit Hole, the little tent next to the park stage, a couple hours after, and he came and watched us, and I think he quite liked the kind of feminine energy that we had, and the kind of the vibe, basically. And I think we do bring a feminine energy to, you know, I think Gaz is pretty right on and stuff, but it's like, it's masculine, so we balance it out, I think.
Yeah, a different energy, yeah.
A welcome energy.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yes. The thing and this is classic, I'm sort of railing against the word feminine as in not a girly energy, which is not what you're saying, but you know, the word feminine often sounds like you're going to be like girly. We don't bring that, but we bring the other sex's energy, you know, the other gender's energy, you know, which is also, like, it's very unusual in a band. Like, loads of bands don't have women in.
I know, there's not many of us about,
exactly. So we bring something different,
I'm just a girl who loves you all the time.
The expectation of different dimensions of, if you want to get into pop music, for example, and you have to be a certain thing, you have to look a certain way or be a certain thing, and you're going to be a singer, and that's kind of the expectation on you, that you sing, that you don't do much else outside of it, producing or writing and producing, and so you do the singing as opposed to doing everything behind. Yeah, who writes your songs? Yeah.
There is that.
Yeah.
But in a broader sense, when you think about the music industry, not just like performing and being on stage, but in the office, in the biz, there's still mainly men in power, and then like the next couple tiers down, you got like the managers of departments are women, or the head of the business affairs team is the woman. And I think it's a matter of time when the older generation retires that maybe those women will move up and it will be a bit more balanced, but at the moment we're not necessarily there.
Yeah, and it's interesting because when I'm not singing and playing with your wonderful people, I am a music supervisor for film and television, which means that I'm in the sort of music industry side, the business side, and I help put together soundtracks for television and film projects. And so it's a part of the industry called synchronization, synchronizing music to picture. And the sync industry it has got a lot of women in a very positive
Well, I'm
sense.
also a music supervisor,
so we've just done a show a year or so ago together, which is amazing. And that's quite interesting because, the sync teams are often lots of women.
They are, actually.
And that's a very positive thing. But the A&R teams often aren't. So the A&R, where they're signing bands and writers and stuff like that. I came from a publishing background, but of course labels as well have A&R teams, obviously. And it's interesting because, sync is one side of the business, but if you want to get more people to be signed, you need the A&R teams to be women as well, and that does seem a bit slower.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I mean, one of the biggest A&R people I know is a woman. Like Coldplay and stuff.
Yes, she
is.
But
she's since had a baby and doesn't go to so many shows and stuff. I think there's like logistics involved in that.
Yeah.
Because being an A&R means going out every single night, sometimes 3-4 shows a night, going to South by Southwest, going to Camden Crawl, going to everything. Just trying to be as omnipotent as possible. And it's maybe a young person's game and tends to be men that want to do it.
Yeah, I think...
I don't know why that is.
Well, I think the industry reflects so much of the industries around the world, like the fact that it is mostly men who are the CEOs of labels and publishers, which reflects... from the top down, it's men running the world,
and
and
the ones I've met, obviously, there's wonderful men out there. But there are some who run companies that are out of touch with a couple layers down the sync teams. Like, I remember I'd go to A&R meetings as the sync person, and they'd be like, we're going to give 6 figures to this person. And you'd be like, okay, that's a lot. And then they'd go, we expect sync to recoup it. And you're like, whoa.
Like the savior of the music
Don't
industry.
put it on me to recoup that kind of money from that artist, and they would expect it without any feedback or informed opinion about the sync market. So that's maybe where the balance is out of whack.
Like top down, yeah.
Come on and take me to the top.
education for me is quite important. Like letting girls know that there is an industry that they can be involved in. Even just like kind of business stuff. You know, it's maybe not the kind of thing that's that appealing at, I mean, things are obviously different since when I went to school, but the idea of being in the music industry was not something that was like offered to me or like advertised to me as something that was possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless you wanted to be like a music teacher.
Yeah,
that was kind of.
Yeah.
Or an orchestral session player.
Yeah, definitely.
But like being dynamic and entrepreneurial maybe needs to be more of an inclusive thing.
But also I think, there's a disconnect in a way, and maybe that's changed, as you're saying, between, because I did a music degree, and it was really wonderful, but it was very much the classical tradition, you know, lots of modern music, but it was a modern classical canon that we were learning. And I think at the time there was probably only, maybe, is it Westminster, one London college that was doing music business. But at that point I didn't know I wanted to go into the music business. I just played music and I was good at music, so I did that. Whereas now there are a lot more, you know, aren't there, courses that teach about the industry.
So maybe like visibility, like industry leaders, kind of visibility at different, like being more open about their business and more open about what goes on and how you get into it. Because it's like, from the outside, you're like, oh, it's cutthroat and you have to know people. And you just have to be...
Also, what jobs are available in the music sphere? Like there are, you know, I didn't even learn about what a publisher or a label, you know, like, I didn't learn that at
I knew
university.
a lot about Scottish country dance music.
Nice.
And that was about it.
Not really useful.
It's really useful. And actually, you know, I just didn't fancy a career in that.
Oh, it's
so.
not funny that. We are not there with 50-50 for 2020. If you look at festival lineups, it's about 80-20. And that, I think, is why there should be initiatives, because until the playing field is even, you don't have examples, and that's uninspiring. And you feel like, oh, that's not an achievable goal because no one's really doing that.
Yeah, and I think that it's too easy for perhaps programmers to be like, oh, the bands aren't there. It's like there's so many
great female-fronted
bands. You just have
bands.
to work really hard for it. And the thing is, it needs to be a massive shift, because obviously labels need to sign more women as well. Because, you know, sometimes programmers will be like, oh, all the stuff I've got hasn't got enough women, but that might be all the stuff that's been signed by major labels. So therefore you have to go further, you have to keep looking. That's where social media, you can find them. But I think, you know, ultimately, something towards quotas.
Until it's even.
Yeah, it's a positive thing.
Yeah.
Like to just investigate and find new stuff that's female-based.
People need to get a bit creative, don't they?
Yeah.
Because people who book
Programmers
festivals
and
work harder.
Yeah.
Come on.
Get rid of the cookie cutter, because that's not relevant anymore. And I think
also,
music fans don't like cookie cutter artists.
No. And if you think that, you know, a lot of the male bands have been on those festival programmes again and again. Definitely get a new female band or singer, you know, like, it's not like you're able to regenerate every programme being different with men in the band. There's loads of times when it's the same bills. So definitely bring some women out.
It does seem like there's a lot of medium-sized male-fronted bands making it work, making their living, and then you just have to be like Billie Eilish to get any attention. It's like you have to do like 10 times better to get noticed.
And this is the
that's
classic
kind
thing.
of a weird conundrum that it needs addressing in the industry for sure.
And the classic thing where you feel like the A&Rs or whatever, like, oh, well, we've got our Billie Eilish, oh, we've got our Florence, so we don't need someone else that sounds like that. It's like, but you've also got many guitar bands that are a part of a genre. So why don't we have this genre that's all women? You know,
but
like,
female isn't a genre, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
So why can't you have that across the board?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's a problem.
Yeah, so it's like, but you know, it's the same with our whole society. It's a mindset. So we're in a world that, you know, is geared towards, it's a male world, you know, and it's trying to like, I wish I had the answer.
Consciousness is shifting because this conversation is happening.
Yeah, good point.
And, you know, even 5 years ago, I don't think this conversation would have happened.
No.
So thanks.
But it goes back to what you were saying though as well, Emma, about education. Like, it's got to start early. Girls need to see role models in successful musicians, of working musicians, working people in the music industry, to know that it's possible to then go and do the degree, then to have ideas from the industry saying these are the jobs that are available, and then for them to go for it, they need to be told how to ask for good money. They need to be told not to
devalue,
kowtow to like the mayor. So there's all these things, but you're right, it's got to start from education.
It's really systemic though, because as well, when you're at school, like boys go around forming bands and girls, when I was at school, we didn't do that.
Yeah.
We were more we were focused on other things, because that's what we were always told was our objective, was not to be in a band, but it was to look nice for the boys in the band.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. Hopefully things are different and changing.
I mean,
But like right at that level, you know, like girls being encouraged to make music.
But
But
then
then like
also,
here's a guitar. It's like look nice for that guy with the guitar.
Yeah.
or it's be in the orchestra. And do like,
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
so I
played
did
the
that
cello,
choir. I was in a
darling.
band,
Yeah,
a little
right.
band at one point, but I was also like a clarinet player that went into the orchestra and did all that. And yeah, still was starting, you know, I was lucky. I was in the mid-90s and there were starting to be a lot more women in bands actually, you know, in the 90s, which hadn't been for ages.
Yeah, that's true.
But even then, it was still, you know, role models are very important at that age.
Yeah.
Lots of they were sometimes just the front women, and I didn't like the way they sang, or I didn't feel like they were still as strong as I wanted female musicians, you know, who I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And I obviously wanted to be Justine from Elastica. And she had lots of women around her.
Yeah.
But she wasn't, every band wasn't like that.
No.
And so, yeah, it's like that would have, I mean, obviously, here I am now, I'm actually doing it, but I did lots of things around the way, and I think that, role models are so important.
Yeah.
And the expectancy, again, it's like girls are really high achievers often at school, and, you know, they're often like, the orchestras are full of, I mean, this is like probably old research, but a long time ago, orchestras were full of girls.
I mean, being in an
at
orchestra
school,
is cool.
But then you go to the orchestras in professional life,
Yeah,
and it's not the women
that's true.
girls anymore. It changes, and so it's quite there's a shift.
But we're not dissing being in an orchestra.
Oh no,
like,
we're not.
That's cool.
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like the paths are different, and maybe it is about like you follow a path, or you know it's high achieving, but it doesn't allow for the just go and play in a band.
Yeah.
It's like experiments.
Here,
I
learn
don't know.
to play
I'm
the
not
flute.
sure, but yeah.
Play the piccolo. Be in the orchestra.
I wanted to play the piccolo so badly.
Didn't you play the tuba?
I played the trombone. They only had
That's
a
a
trombone
great
left.
instrument.
I know.
I felt so self-conscious with the trombone. though. I
You
was
get
like,
such better parts. I played the clarinet, and there were so many clarinets. It was so annoying.
Wow. I played the drums.
That's good. See, there we go. That's good.
I mean, I've seen it change a lot.
Yeah.
I've been working in the music biz for 20 years and definitely had some horrible Me Too moments in my early years. I won't bore you with those details. And definitely more respect being shown to women in the workplace now, to a point where it's almost overcautious, but I'd much rather have that.
Yeah, 'cause
Please be cautious around me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think, the fact it's talked about, it can empower, people to reject that, women to like be strong, feel like they're going to be supported if they speak out about something, or to say that something's not appropriate or whatever.
Yeah.
It feels, luckily, I think, with any luck, some of this stuff now feels like old school, the way old people used to be. We used to have writers that would come into, when I worked in a publisher, and they'd be so inappropriate what they would say.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, that would never happen now. You wouldn't be
No.
allowed to, because someone would say that's not appropriate, whether it was a woman or a man would say that's not appropriate, and
Yeah.
that's good. But back in the day, you were like, oh.
Yeah. My feminist icon is Dolly Parton.
Oh, yeah,
Because she is the full package.
She
man.
is.
She's beautiful. She writes amazing songs. She's a badass businesswoman. She
Yeah.
gives to charity. She has her own amusement park. She can play guitar with like really long fingernails. I don't even know how she does that. So she's definitely my feminist hero, man, and she's been doing it a long time, and she's a really good role model. I even used to have blonde clip-on hair because of Dolly Parton. She's a legend. So for me, that's something to strive to.
Yeah.
One day I'll have my own theme park.
I look forward to it. Piney World.
Yeah.
I'll be going there. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I've worn that clip-on hair, so
I know you
I
have.
feel like I've had Dolly Parton's feminism.
Anointed onto your own hair.
with the talisman of her clip-on hair, or your clip-on hair.
Yeah. But what's amazing about what we're doing today here for Young Women's Music Project is just the fact that it's happening.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is the education we were talking about.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is, yeah. I don't have a feminist icon in music. I think just seeing women in music is kind of
Yeah.
Enough.
enough,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'd say like all the female artists that I like are,
Yeah.
you know, like St. Vincent or
Yeah.
like back to PJ Harvey, where they've just been in a good way uncompromising of
Yeah.
like, I'm an artist, I'm going to make music and I'm going to get signed and I'm going to be a producer and I'm going to do what I want
Yeah.
in music. That's
Or
their
like
my-
Patti Smith.
Yeah, and Patti Smith, yeah.
Kind of a legend.
Yeah, I seek out older women as well just now. I like to see older women still doing it, still having a voice and being given space to still make music.
Yeah.
So that they're, you know, not just like,
Just like, oh, you're old.
Oh, she's
so
done now.
Retire. 'Cause,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You're wrinkly.
Yeah.
Stop. You're so invalid now.
That's
Yeah.
kind of gross.
Yeah, it's grim.
Yeah.
Whereas with a man who's growing older, it's like, he's so wise.
Silver
I love to hear his
Yeah.
stories because he has so much to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true, but that does feel like it's changing as well.
Well, yeah.
Slowly.
I hope so.
Yeah. I hope so too.
There was the sun. We made a spark.
I've definitely seen more music colleges or you know, contemporary music colleges offering like music business, so that you know, publishers I've worked for, we were saying before, like interns have come through from these courses that I'd like never existed when I went to university. So far, I haven't really seen the connection of like red brick or old style universities bringing those interns in yet, and that's interesting to hear that, you know, popular music is now going to maybe be a bit more on the curriculum or whatever on the old school, I'd say, if that's okay to say, you know, universities. Because I've mainly seen it in sort of those smaller contemporary colleges. Yeah, it's really positive.
And it means you don't have to start from scratch training an intern because they already have, they know what publishing is, they know what a label does, they understand how social media can tie it together, and maybe they even know about, like, you know, timelines and how much lead time you need before a single and all that kind of stuff. You might learn that at school, so you don't have to be like training them from the ground up, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and it's going back to how important education is. It means that the people that are really good at playing the violin or the tuba or the trombone or whatever, you don't have to be pigeonholed too early into either classical or pop or rock, because I came from a classical world at first, but I loved pop or rock or the opposite of classical, but I had no idea, you know, what was available. So yeah, if I could have gone and done my classical degree and done a module in popular music that would have given me some industry contacts or industry know-how or knowledge.
Being aware that it was an option.
Yeah, exactly. Especially I think now, because I think when we started out, you could try a few things, or you could go from university and try some things in a bit, maybe the job market was a little bit easier then. Like now you hear like it's so hard to get a job that you need even more like industry experience or knowledge. That, you know, it would be much more bewildering maybe coming from a traditional classical background to try and get a job at EMI Publishing.
Yeah,
now,
right.
You know, maybe it would be impossible.
I did a popular music course actually.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did, but it wasn't about the industry and it wasn't about practical application. It was more like an extension of A-level music. So it was more theory and there was performance in it, but there wasn't how to apply it in the real world or how to get a job in the industry or
I
how
guess
to
it
use it
made
once
you
you've gone out.
aware that that was a thing.
Not really. No, it was more how to perform with a band, and there's a lot of history of pop music, that kind of thing, and it wasn't super practical. I didn't feel like it equipped me to then, or inspired me to kind of go, oh, now I really feel like I know what's out there and I know how to take this out and do, because I really wanted to be a backing vocalist.
Yeah, right.
Look at you living your best life.
Yeah, look at that.
Thank you.
I mean, that just
that's
proves
what
that
I
you don't
really
need the
wanted to do.
degree.
Right.
I really wanted to do that, and I really wanted to make the kind of music that I was into at the time, but it wasn't given any weight, the kind of thing that I liked.
Yeah.
So I liked kind of trip hop and 90s chill out and hip hop and that kind of thing, and I really wanted to do more like that. But everyone on my course played guitar. and the kind of music tech side of it, it was all about making guitar music. And it didn't, when I asked for it, it didn't feel like there was many people there that knew how to help me go into the kind of, go down the path that I really wanted to go down. And it was much more, it was still pop music, but it was really traditional. Like we did a lot on the Beatles and a lot on Northern Soul and that kind of thing.
Okay. I mean, that's all important. But
It is.
There are many other facets to it.
When I was at school, pop music was the Beatles. And that was it. There wasn't anything outside of it.
And you were not from the 60s.
No.
To be clear.
Yes. Yeah, well, we get briefs in from the publishers, and we have to, I work with a producer, and we'll get together and discuss ideas, and then we'll get a general idea for something, and then he'll do the track, and then I'll write something on top of it, and then we'll bring it together, we'll discuss it again, and then we'll send it for pitch and see what happens from there. I would say about that again, everyone's looking for the polished hit. So you get in a brief and they go, we've been thinking that maybe we'd like something along the lines of that big number one. We're like, really?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, I think everybody's trying to find that. Yeah.
Wow.
Doesn't everyone want to write the next number one?
Exactly.
Yeah,
So again, like it just feels a little bit like that thing of there's lots of the traditional thing. And there's not a lot of people looking at indie urban.
Like independent.
There's a very strong scene.
Yes,
for that.
it is.
Yeah.
Yes, and so I do a lot of that stuff, and occasionally we'll get a brief for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And inevitably, we'll get through to the next kind of stage of it because we like the thing that we do and we've stuck to it. So we found our niche.
That's
we really
your
like
genre,
it. That's what we stuck to. So that's the thing. So we don't get a lot of pitches, but the ones we do get,
You connect.
make it big in China. So
Oh yeah, you've had a number one in China.
That's nuts. Yeah.
Amazing.
But that's like a career path that maybe you wouldn't think of if you're a kid in school. You wouldn't think, oh yeah, one day I want to write a number one hit for a Chinese pop star.
Exactly, and you get that from, I don't know if you already said this, but when you just have to get out and do. So before I met you, I just turned up to a thing where I liked the music and then just asked them if I could sing with them, like in a pub, in a bar. And then I just did that. I just did a live PA with a guy
Didn't you sing with like some drum and bass act or something?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I love drum and bass.
I know you do. That's why I
do it.
They don't teach drum and bass at school.
Don't
Well, they
they?
probably do now. They probably do
now.
now. Yeah, that's true.
But even and that's it, isn't it? As well, like as much teaching as you can have. You're right. You just have to go and do it.
Yeah, you do
like
it.
I just we put a band together, and that's how we ended up playing with you and stuff.
Yeah.
Is because we were like, well, let's just put a band together. We don't know what it's going to be like, but let's just try it and
you have
see.
you have to go to the things that you enjoy and speak to the people that are there, and
you have to figure it out.
That taps into the community as well,
Yeah.
because there's a very strong community around musicians and the way music works, because it is or can be collaborative if you want to be, and the people can build each other up, and that's a really nice thing about what we do is we have each other and we have our community of musicians, and that you might meet those people at school, but you might not. So,